In every small town there are secrets, quietly buried beneath smiling faces, Sunday church bells, and neighborly waves. But what happens when one of those secrets bursts into the open, in the most violent way possible? Our story begins in Millstone, a small town tucked away in the heart of America. Population? Just under 12,000. A place where everyone knows each other. Or at least, they think they do. Life here was simple. Football on Fridays, church on Sundays, a town where doors were rarely locked and crime was nearly non-existent. Until everything changed. It was a crisp autumn morning when police received a frantic call. A woman had failed to show up for work. Concern turned to horror when officers arrived at her home and made a gruesome discovery. Inside, they found 42-year-old Rebecca Clarke, a teacher, a mother, a woman loved by nearly everyone in town. Rebecca Clarke wasn't just a teacher, she was a pillar of the community. She coached the debate team, volunteered at church, and was known for her kindness. So, who could want her dead? At first, investigators believed it would be a straightforward case. But as they dug deeper into Rebecca's life, they realized nothing in Millstone was as it seemed. This is the case that shocked America.
It was a quiet, ordinary night, until everything changed. A murder, a family torn apart, a town left in shock. For over 3 decades, the murder of Rebecca Clarke has remained unsolved. But now, with groundbreaking advancements in forensic science, this cold case may finally be ready to thaw. It was the fall of 1989 in Millstone. Rebecca Clarke, 42 years old, was a dedicated schoolteacher with everything to live for. On October 19th, around 10:15 p.m., a neighbor reported hearing a scream. By the time authorities arrived, Rebecca was found lifeless in her living room. There were no fingerprints, no witnesses, only a small drop of blood near the door and a few hairs, nothing substantial enough to identify her killer. In the months that followed, hope dimmed, tips slowed, then stopped.
We chased dozens of leads, interviews, canvases, late-night callbacks. Nothing held. Whoever did this left almost no trace. We boxed evidence and logged every scrap. We waited for the science to catch up. It was the kind of silence that keeps you up at night.
By year's end, Rebecca's case went cold, but the box never left the shelf, or their minds.
The scene was brutal. It was personal. This wasn't a random act. Whoever did this wanted her dead. It was personal. It's always the spouse we look at first. Daniel was visibly shaken, but there were things about his story that didn't quite add up. We ask why. We test alibis. Daniel, walk me through your night again.
I told you, I got home and she wasn't answering.
Your call came in at 10:14. Where were you at 10:10?
In the car. Time's a blur.
Anyone who can confirm that?
No, I was alone.
This is your chance to help Rebecca.
As days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, the case that had once been the talk of Millstone began to fade into the background. With no solid leads, the investigation hit a dead end. Tips dwindled, memories blurred. What began with sirens settled into silence. Vigils grew smaller, then stopped. Life moved on, the questions stayed, and somewhere, answers were waiting in plain sight.
We followed every lead, every single one. We interviewed her family, her friends, her co-workers. We looked into her past relationships, but nothing came up. It was as if the killer had vanished into thin air. We circled back, reran timelines, retested what we could, but the trail got cold fast. There are cases that haunt you. This was one of them. We don't forget. We can't.
Even the best investigators hit walls, and time can turn walls into memory. But memory still holds fragments, waiting for the right light to see them.
We owed her answers, we still do.
Years don't solve cases. People do. The crowd thinned, but the pain didn't. Back then, science could only go so far. The town learned to carry it. A number on a shelf held a life in limbo. Places remember, even when people try to forget. Promises were made. Many went unanswered. Anniversaries marked what time couldn't erase.
Some nights I still go over it step by step.
Millstone changed, but something else was changing too. Quietly, the science was catching up. The smallest things can hold the loudest truths. You just have to know where to look. And then, officially, cold. Families learned the language of waiting. They kept her name alive. Tick by tick. Years later, a new set of eyes, a newer lab, and a technology ready to listen.
I always hoped that call would come.
Cold is not the same as closed. In time, the silence would speak.
For her.
The case, once filled with hope, now gathered dust in a cold storage box. Detective teams moved on to other cases, and Rebecca's murder was filed under the category every investigator dreads: cold. But for Rebecca's family, the pain never faded. Her mother, Claire Clarke, was left to mourn her daughter's tragic death, while grappling with the fact that her killer was still walking free. For years, the Clarke family held on to the belief that one day, someone would find the truth. But the longer the case went unsolved, the harder that hope became to hold on to.
I used to see her every day, and now she's gone. How do you make sense of that? I still can't believe it. We never thought. Rebecca was the kind of person you'd wave to across the street. She smiled. She helped with the bake sales. She knew everybody's dog's name. When you live in a place like Millstone, you grow up feeling safe. And then something like this tears that right out of you. I remember the morning the sirens came. My neighbor came to my door and said there'd been an awful accident. We were in shock. We kept saying it can't be true, even as the police cars kept coming. Now every corner of town feels smaller. The grocery store, the park bench, the bench by the river, all the little places where life used to seem ordinary are full of her absence. People gather, we hug, we cry. We try to make sense of a world that suddenly isn't fair. Rebecca wasn't just a name in the news. She was someone's daughter, someone's friend. We're trying to hold on to the good memories, because right now, that's what's keeping us going. And we hope justice brings at least a little peace. We never thought. Millstone resident reacting to the murder of Rebecca Clarke, voice by Sarah Mills. Soft, grieving delivery.
Then, in 2022, a breakthrough. New forensic tools could breathe life into old, unsolved crimes. Rebecca's case was re-examined.
New DNA technology allows us to extract and analyze DNA from even the most degraded samples. We developed a partial DNA profile from the fingernail scrapings.
With the DNA profile in hand, investigators entered the data into a genealogical database and then a match. The DNA led to Thomas Greer, a childhood friend of Rebecca's who had never been a suspect. After high school, he moved away and was never heard from again. In 2024, investigators confronted Greer at his California home. His reaction? Silence. He simply requested a lawyer, and now the case was heading to court.
We want justice. We want closure. But even if Thomas Greer is convicted, will it ever truly bring us peace?
Science gave Rebecca Clarke a second chance at justice. What other cold cases are waiting for the same breakthrough? Like, share, and subscribe for more cold case files.